Greetings, automotive enthusiasts. Today we have for you, I think this is probably one of the coolest cars we've ever had. This is a 1987 Suzuki Alto Works RS-X Turbo. This little car is what they call a Japanese K car, and it's a kind of a micro car that Japan built just for the Japan market. So they had a deal where, they're trying to encourage people, obviously, to, have less impact, with parking and fuel and everything. In Japan, everything's a lot more expensive. So they had a deal where it had to be a certain weight and a certain, like this is 550 cc's stock. The agreement was 64 horsepower. And so the car only weighs like 1,300 pounds. So they have to fit these certain requirements. So you see there's a whole slew of these Japanese K cars. And so they kind of just made they made little roadsters, they made all kinds of different configurations of cars, but this is just a super cool little hatchback. And what's amazing is this little guy here, it's 550 cc's, but it's a 3-cylinder, twin cam, fuel injected, turbocharged, intercooled engine that revs to 9,500 RPM. It's just a riot. We'll keep circling around here. You guys see in the background, I'll be doing a video on this soon. This is a brand new acquisition. Hoofda. We'll talk about that more later. But we got the little Suzuki here, and so I got this car in, and it's funny, I bought this out of a collector in Ohio. Super cool guy who actually has written a book on Japanese cars. I'll put a link to it here, but it is just, he actually sent me as a surprise, a really nice gift. He sent me a collection of the books, and I'm getting ready to go and kind of pour through it. But he had this car, he has like some of the coolest cars that I've ever seen. And he actually posted a picture of this up on Facebook, and he put it up for sale, like on Marketplace. And I saw it, and sometimes I see something I might want to buy, and I kind of try to keep my cards close to my chest, and I don't really message on the thread. I'll probably send an instant message and so on and so forth. But on this one, I literally just typed right on the thread, is like, I want to buy this now. And I direct messaged him, and then I went back to the thread and said, please check your inbox. And, I was like, man, I don't know. I saw this car. I absolutely had to have it. And he was a super cool guy, and I literally just wired him the money and then had it shipped in. It's just such a neat car. You don't see these things. When I bought this thing, then I kind of started getting on YouTube and just kind of seeing what was out there on this car. And what was funny is I actually found this car on YouTube, and I think I only saw this one and then an RSR, which is an all-wheel drive version of this car. It looked pretty much identical, but all-wheel drive. Car this size, I just prefer the front-wheel drive because it's lighter and quicker. And, you're not really tracking, unless you're going off-road in this thing for the pavement, the all-wheel drive is kind of overkill unless you're going to do something stupid crazy with power or take it off-road. But got this car in, and it was kind of fun. So I went ahead and had Van Gogh polish it up and do a paint correction on it. And there was a lot of little bald spots on the paint, just little places where the paint had kind of had little speckles through the paint or whatever, but Van Gogh touched it up and just made it look fantastic. As a matter of fact, we took it to its first car show this weekend. Here, I'll have to show you this. Check this out. So we took it to the Wichita Asian Car Show. And what this is, it's a first annual, our local dealership, Schofield Honda, put this together. And we were one of the sponsors of the events. And anyway, so we put this little guy in the show, and it actually won Best of Show 99 and older Asian car. So it won Best of Show in its first outing. So that was fun. And I don't know that it's not necessarily the condition of the car that got the best to show it, but it's just kind of the overall car. The patina, the presentation, and then just the popularity and the rarity and just the coolness of the car. I mean, I just took it there for people to see, but it actually won. So it was like, that is so super cool. But yeah, and then I had to wear my rad wood hat with this car today because it is just so rad. But let's get back to the car. So that was just so much fun this weekend. We put 5 cars in the show, and this was our little star car. So let's kind of zoom in here, and we will kind of cover it. We're not going to get into super detail, although it's pretty clean. I mean, there's going to be lots of little flaws, but let's just check it out. Looking across the hood here, actually the hood is really clean. I don't see anything there. I think that's a bug. Get off of there, bug. And I just greased him there. So, and this intercooler right here, this is actually functional. This is a functional ram air to the intercooler right underneath there. When I pop that hood, you'll see that. It's just super cool. But yeah, so they did a great job here. You'll see some, there's some little age, and it looks like maybe a bolt missing there. Yeah, because there's a screw there. Looks like there's a little bit of misalignment on this bumper. Looks like it might have had a little bump right there, which is kind of so that forward, radiator, that fascia panel has got a little bit of damage there. But I didn't even really notice it. You don't notice it until you kind of get down here and look at it. Absolutely love the Japanese tags that came with this car. Got our fog lights. Headlights are nice. They're glass, which they don't do much anymore. All of the logos kind of have some patina to them. There's our other one, fog lights. Actually, I mean, if you consider this car, it is in nice condition. It's got, I think, 160 something thousand kilometers on it, which is about 90 some thousand miles. That's just quick numbers out of my head, so don't hold me to that. But I'll show you the kilometers and you can do the calculation yourself. But actually, it's really darn good on the front. Wow. I mean, like I said, Van Gogh did touch up some stuff, and it looks like they did a really good job. I don't know that there was, on the passenger side door was where most of it was, and that's where I'll show you there. Wheels are in really good shape. They're 13-inch wheels, which is nice. The tires are in really good shape. But I was afraid this thing was gonna have some weird, like 12-inch or 10-inch or something that I can't get tires for. And I did find actually like an R compound 13-inch tire that I think this is a 165 or something like that. And I could go a wider, or 155/60, 65/13. I found a 165/60/13 R compound tire. These tires are in really good shape. So if they were bad, I'm still undecided what I'm gonna do there. Is I wanna go like autocross this car or something crazy. Be kind of fun. Looking down the side, I mean, the car is very straight. And I just love the white. I mean, if any of you know me, you know that I'm a sucker for 80s white turbo cars. And this is kind of hard to read, but it's really cool. It says intercooler right there on the back side of the scoop. Windshield's in good condition, still got the Japanese stickers and stuff. It does have a little wiper mark scratch in it right there. You can kind of see, it's a little wiper mark in it. I need to get on YouTube and see about if there's a way to polish out stuff, because I get that all the time. So mirror looks nice. Looks like it might have been repainted. It's pretty bright. I mean, you don't really notice it other than you would expect more rocks and chips and damage to it. And it's a little shinier than the paint. So looking here on the graphics, twin cam turbo. I love this here. Electronic petrol injection intercooler. How cool is that? Oh man. But overall, this car is really, really clean. And I love that lower cladding, kind of that pewter color, and then the pewter color wheels. Looks really cool. That little two-tone element to it. The wheels are in pretty darn good shape. I mean, they got, if you look down in there, you know, I'm gonna clean them a little bit, but I don't wanna get too aggressive on it. But I I really haven't spent a lot of time getting really detailed ahead. Like I said, Van Gogh, polish it and touch it up, and that's about it. One thing really cool, hey, I need to find, so I thought this was aftermarket, and there's only one on the left side, there's not one on the right side, and I was gonna I'm like, oh, aftermarket, I'll just pull it off, and then I saw this on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are factory. So now I have to find a right side factory wind deflector. Anybody got any ideas? Help me out. Looked like a bird got me, you dirty bird. So check this out, pop out windows. What really blows my mind about this car is I expected this thing to be kind of just bare bones, like no frills, like cheap, but this car has every convenience that you could possibly expect from a car in this price bracket in 1987. Look, we got pop-out windows. We got, oh, look at this, twin cam turbo, rear wiper, rear heat. This car has, a cool AM/FM stereo in it. And it's kind of funny because it doesn't actually tune to up high enough to our frequencies. It stops at like 99 or something like that. But I found a trick for it. I got an FM modulator and I just tuned it into some frequency in the 80s. And now I can pump my Spotify through the radio of this car. It's so cool. So I put on 80s, 80s music and when I'm cruising this thing around. All right, looks like the taillight, I thought that was a crack, but it's just like a scratch or something. I can't even feel it with my fingernail. So whatever that is, it's there. Suzuki. But I'm talking about the features of this car. Look at that, the graphics and everything, 200 kilograms. And we have both plates, front and rear. These are just kind of a dummy blank. But not only does this car have all these features and options and oil, it's got vacuum gauge, oil temperature, all the gauges you can imagine, but this car has air conditioning. I did not expect that. I was blown away when I got this car in and I looked on the dash and I'm like, I know that's a compressor button, and I popped the hood. Sure enough, this car has AC. That's just phenomenal. This little guy sounds incredible too. You saw the little drive-by at the beginning of the video. It makes just glorious noises. But this is a straight little car. And then look in here, the right rear wheel, good shape, a little bit of age on it. See, all the tires are super good. Graphics are nice on this side. Well, they got some age on them, but the left side's a little bit harsher. Pop-out windows, and back along here, you'll see a bunch of touch-ups. It had a bunch of little bald spots on that back leading edge. Sun kind of, because you can see there's still some bald spots there. Didn't really get in there. I guess I could open the hatch and touch that up just to protect the bare metal. Wouldn't be a bad idea. And opening the hatch would allow access to that. So I will do some of that. But you'll see, it seems like for some reason on the right side was where most of the touch-up was done. And Van Gogh was like, well, what are you expecting out of this car? And I'm like, hey guys, just do your best. White's gonna look better than bald speckles. And when I went to pick the car up, I was blown away. I didn't even think about all of the paint issues on the car. You don't even notice it. So great job, guys. Super impressed. Because there was a lot of touch-up. You see all that? And I told them, I said, just cover it, It's better than bare metal, and they did a really good job. Thanks, guys. I just made my little car so happy because there was a bunch of bald spots along that edge right there. If it don't point it out, you don't even hardly see it. Now, one thing I do notice here is, so that fender and that door, looks like that fender's been painted, I think a long time ago, but anyway, it is what it is. I think it's just the fender though, I don't know. Maybe the hood has, maybe the front half has been repainted. Maybe that's why it's so clean. Probably had some little fender bender or something. There's our other front wheel, little side markers. Now check this out. This model was developed through the teamwork of enthusiastic Suzuki engineers. It's certainly worthy of the name Works. And I've got to, I don't know, I'm gonna try to do this. If not, I'll drop a link in the description. But I found the actual factory TV ad for this car, this exact car, and it is so cool. I'm gonna try to actually include it in the video so you can see it right here. But if not, I'll drop a link. But so that's kind of the overview there. So overall, I mean, the car, I mean, it's really cool. It really has some great patina. I mean, it's just a perfect driver quality car. And I can't tell you how many times I go to the left side to get in this car. Actually, usually I go to do my interior review and I'm going to the left side of the car, I guess. But, you know, usually I start with the driver's side. So let me keep with that theme here. Turbo. All right, we'll go ahead and open up the door and show the interior. All right, so get this. When I first saw this car, I thought, because I seen kind of pictures of the interior, I thought maybe that it was like red but was faded out. But no, these guys went hot pink on the two-tone interior, and that is so freaking cool. The interior of this car is in immaculate condition also, by the way. Check it out, we got a little old sticker there. I'll probably go ahead and change the oil on this thing. We got some stuff to do to this car. Look at the keychain, Tasmanian Devil. I'm leaving that on there, so cool. So we'll kind of start here with the interior. Let's go ahead and we'll show you the seat, and then we'll talk about some of the gauges. But so this is the driver's seat, but look at this thing. It is in unbelievable condition considering the age and the miles. You know, this car, you'd think it had 40,000 miles on it with the wear, the lack of wear. Look at the bolster. I mean, that is unbelievable. And here's the deal. I told you I thought it was faded, but look. It is not faded. That is the color. You can see where the sun doesn't get it. Here's our cool little raising and lowering. And what's amazing, I'm 6 foot, I fit in this car perfectly. I had a friend of mine, I'm going to drop a couple of photos right here. He's like, I don't know how tall, he's 6'6", 6'7". And anyway, he climbed into this car this weekend. Check this out. Is that amazing? Like how tall he is standing next to the car, and then he fit. Now, you know, he had to kind of wiggle underneath the steering wheel, but once he got in, he was fine, and his head didn't even hit the deal. So, I mean, he could literally drive this car. I don't know what you call this design, but I freaking love it. It is just the coolest thing ever. And these seats, they feel so good. I love that material and kind of a corduroy look there. And then this is kind of like a parachute pants kind of feel there. So we got 3 different materials in the seats. I mean, that's crazy. I'll go ahead and show you the back here real quick before I get in the front. So there's the back seat, and it folds down. But literally, I mean, you could fit. I mean, you could scrunch up the, you know, move forward a little bit, and you could literally fit for reasonably sized adults in here. You're not gonna fit 4 6-foot people. So anyway, check this out. Here's our little trophy from the car show. And here back here is super nice shape. And we got our factory floor mats with the red piping. There's just so many crazy deals on this car. I mean, here's our factory front floor mats. But look, so we got this gray and pink, which actually matches Ceramic Pro. Check this out. When they saw this, they're like, man, we want this car for the shop, you know? It's the little Ceramic Pro car. But literally, look, it's the same color. And but we got these different colors, and then look under here. We've got pinstriped blue carpets. I mean, this is bonkers. And even blue pedals. I never even noticed a dead pedal over there. Yeah, it's crazy. All the cool stuff they've done. I'm gonna slide in here real quick All right, well, there's our hood release, and there is our fog light, which is really cool, the fog lights. So here's like an aftermarket thing added. So check this out. This is a vintage Trust super tuning boost gauge. That is so cool. And here we got 61,089 on the kilometers, and that is going to go up as I am driving this car quite regularly. There's our rear wiper, rear washer, rear heated back window. The steering wheel is very, very cool. There is some, starting to get a little bit of checking on the top, but overall it's still in good condition. Not sure where you'd find a horn works there. Now check this out. All the temperature controls work. Here's our AC compressor button. Here's our fan speed. There's our fresh air and hot air. Here's a neat little cubby hole, and it still works. Ratchets. Looks like a radio blank. So I'm guessing maybe this little center stack down here, I don't know if that's added on or not, to be real honest with you. Because I said that looks like what would be a factory blank hole, unless they added, I bet you they added this to the works. So the regular base Alto, that makes sense. The regular base Alto would have had a radio up here, and it wouldn't have had all this stuff. But check this out. We have vacuum. We have oil temperature. And then we have volts right here. Because up here we got our water temperature, our fuel, and then right here this little boost gauge. It is so cool. Every time you hit boost, it lights up green. Just flickers on and off. So neat. And then one thing here, the shift indicator fell off, and I have that. I just need to glue that back on. So I do have that there. I think it's kind of neat there, little help you out there. And I use that quite a bit actually. And then here's this radio. It is, I don't know. I mean, I think this come from Japan because, like I said, it tunes really, really weird. But I was able to zero in on something in the 80s. And talking about the neat details, look at this. Look at the diamond quilt pattern on the visors. Here's our dome light, and it works. And then, oh, cool. Here's our Japanese writing. Can somebody tell me why it's all Japanese, but all of the writing on the car is like in English on the outside, but it was never made for any other market? That's interesting. And then also the advertisement was in English for the car. So I'm not quite understanding that, but anyway, here's our little glove box, and I dropped some cassettes in here. We got Sammy Hagar, George Strait, Boston. So had to go dig up some of my cassettes. Here's some little extra wires that they got running for probably the boost gauge or something. And then here is that. And I guess I didn't really see, there's our carpets there. And then you saw the carpets under here, really, really nice. I guess I can kind of show you this side of the car from in here because we're right here. You don't have to go very far to see it. So door panel is perfect. And then the seat is fantastic. Unbelievable, honestly. And here's our bolsters. Unbelievable. Little grab handle there on the passenger side. I like the little bars there for the windows. To just, I guess, keep a load from sliding and breaking the window. I'm not sure. I like the little headrests and stuff on a pedestal. Car's got so much character. The dash is perfect on this car. I don't see any cracks in the dash. A little fading on the plastics. Door handle stuff. I'll take some of my exterior black stuff that's for the bumpers and stuff, and I'm going to treat that to the handles and everything. They're just dry, so that I can actually make that look like new, I'm sure. There's our hazards. I'm guessing like a park light, I guess, like that. So I'm gonna get so the AC has AC. It's not working right now, so that's on our kind of to-do list. But everything on this little guy pretty much works. Well, let's go ahead and pop the hood. All right, we got the hood popped here. Check this out. Here's our little sealing rubber deal from the air cleaner, and it seals right up to this intercooler. Here, to give you reference of this intercooler, there's my hand, there's the intercooler. Here's the engine, there's my hand and arm. I mean, it's so narrow, it's 3 cylinders. Now, I do have the cam cover. When we washed it, it got some water in there, so that's why I got the paper towel in there. Got some water in there and had to blow it out and dry it out. I just hadn't put the cam cover back on yet. But we do have that cam cover. Look how clean it is in here. So it looks like, I'm guessing, this is probably added, would be my guess. This little strut tower bar is probably added, but nice and tidy underneath the hood here. Here is our tag there, body stamp. I don't know what that is. I mean, in the US it would be emissions information, but hard to say what it is. But check this out. Intercooler Suzuki Turbo. Twin cam. 12. I have the battery cover for this, but the battery in here, I'm guessing it's maybe a little bigger than stock, so the battery cover doesn't fit it. So just FYI, there's that little radiator. This thing sits there and just idles in traffic all day. It is perfectly fine. Look, here's our part of our AC system. See, there's your little sight glass there. Probably just need to charge it up, see what happens. It probably works. The little compressor is way down in there. Where's the turbo at? I think it's right up front here. So I want to show you this right here. So here's a little party trick I'm going to show you. See this little guy? They put in a little bleed valve for the boost. And I've played with this, and see that little bitty lever? You can open and close this valve, and you can increase and decrease the boost. I got this thing dialed in to where it's basically right at 1 bar, and it's super happy there. It just hits it and pulls all the way to redline. Any more than that, and it kind of starts to break up on the top end, so because it's not getting, enough fuel. I think if you if you got some bigger injectors with a little bit of tuning, I think this motor would make a lot of power relative to its size. Would be kind of fun to play with. We'll see what happens. But it is so cool. Super clean. Let me show you in the back here. Looks like we got a little piece of molding missing there that I missed. Kind of shrunk up a little bit. I gotta start finding me a Japan part source. All right, so the back strut, it only has 1 strut. A little bit weak there. Sometimes it holds, sometimes it doesn't. It's holding right now, but then as soon as I stick my head in here, it's probably gonna clobber me. So here is the back area, and it is in excellent condition. A little bit of vinyl shrinkage there. See some of that. And here's something that's really cool. So you can take your seat and you can flip it down, and this thing has a ton of cargo space. Look at this, watch this. And then here is oh, see? There goes lid, you got me. All right, so let's do this here. Check this bar out. Flip that bar up, and then boom. Probably should just leave it that way, because I don't know anybody that's gonna get in the back of this thing, but check it out. That is a huge space. I mean, it's massive. I mean, there's so much room in this car. Even when me and Becky are sitting side by side, you'd think we'd be like shoulder to shoulder, but I mean, it's funny because we got in this car earlier and we both went to put our seatbelts on. There's been cars like that where we've been like, okay, one and then the other. We can't both put our seatbelts on, but we both latched our seatbelts with no problems. I might take and look at maybe re-gluing some of that vinyl, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of what you expect from the age of the car. Let's go back around the front here. Set this hood down. No, I gotta be honest with all of you. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this car. I have it on the website right now, and I always price all my cars, you know, unless it's going up for auction. If it's going up for auction, you know, then you don't put a price on it because, I mean, there is no price. It's high bidder takes it, right? But I have this car on the website right now at email for price. Sorry about that. It's just because, honestly, I really don't even know where to price the car yet. And, you know, so I'm still kind of thinking about it. I want to do a few little things to it. The front struts are bad on the car. If you hit a bump, the compression is bad, and it'll, you know, if you hit a bump, it basically bottoms out the bump stops. So need to put, I'll probably try to find all 4 struts on the car. So I guess that's a good excuse for me to not sell the car yet, because it's still a work in progress. But yeah, this one is a fun one. I've contemplated different things with this car. It looks fantastic like it is, but one part of me almost wants to keep this thing. A friend of mine told me that he knows a company that can completely recreate this graphics, you know, dead on factory. You know, I might, if I keep the car longer, I might repaint the car and put new graphics on it. I mean, I don't know. I say that. I'm just thinking out loud. But because that actually looks really good, even with the fading and the painting, especially after Van Gogh got done with it. But anyway, that's me kind of rambling on about the car. Check this out here. I love this little treatment. I thought this was going to be like super flimsy. Check this out. I mean, this is like, it's almost like a basket handle. You feel like two guys could pick up the back of this car by that, I mean, wing or spoiler or whatever that is. I don't know what it is, but I totally dig it. But yeah, it's definitely solid. So, well, I hope that you enjoy the outer walk around and overview of this car. And now the best part is I got Becky with me, and we're gonna take this thing for a spin and let you see how it drives. Let's go. Here we go. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Here we go. Husband and wife moment there. So, all right, we're gonna fire up the little Suzuki here. All right, and we're losing a little bit of daylight, but actually that's kind of cool because this thing just shines at night. Check this out. I gotta show you guys. It's so rad. Just rad like the hat. Check it out. Take the parking brake off. It's so freaking cool. So I feel like some video game at night. You know what I mean? Yep. There we go. I'm gonna drive the little Suzuki RS-X.
What happened with this car this weekend?
Oh man, so much fun. We had a car show in Wichita, first annual all-Asian car show, hosted by Schofield Honda. It was a lot of fun, a lot of Asian cars there. Majority Hondas, but we took 5 cars there, and no Hondas actually. We had a Mitsubishi Starion, had an '84 Toyota Cressida, and had our '91 Celica all-track turbo race car that hadn't seen daylight in about 10 years. Our car, yeah. And then this little '87 Suzuki RS-X Works, and then our '85 Toyota Celica GTS convertible stick. Yep. So a lot of cool, fun cars. But the cool thing is this car won Best 2000 and Under Japanese car. So that's pretty cool. It awarded its first car show. So how cool is that? So here's a little video clip of the car show I'll drop in right here. Check this out. It's a lot of fun.
That it's got a European body, but it's got a Honda heart. He wanted a Honda so bad he put it in the so that's what it's supposed to go on. It's very appreciated. That is a lot of work, let me tell you.
Bob always finding the neat stuff.
All right, our next one we have, this one is Best in Show 2000 or older
'87 Suzuki Alto right here, owned by Bob Cummings. What a unique car. Twin cam turbo, and it's electronic petrol injection with the intercooler. All right, Bob, thanks so much.
That was actually Honda Pro Jason. Go check out his YouTube channel. He came in for the show, and anyway, I hope you like this little clip. It's a lot of fun. So back to the overview driving video of the car.
Some speed bumps here, and then we'll get on the throttle here and see what it sounds like. This little car, little 3-cylinder thing, it's just fun. It just winds up and screams. Here we go. Issue with the car is the front struts, the compression is pretty much blown out of them. So if you hit a bump, the strut bottoms out. So we're gonna try to source all new struts for this little car because it's so much fun, and we want this car to drive perfect. And then other issues with the car. This car actually has air conditioning. It doesn't work, but it's all here intact. So we'll kind of look into that or whatever. But other than that, man, this car is in really good shape. And the tires are good, the brakes, the clutch, the shifting, transmission, synchros. I mean, you can go through the gears on this thing with no issues at all.
Do you know where the turn signal switch is on this car?
It's tricky. It's on the right-hand side. So getting used to the shifting is probably the easiest part of this car.
It is the easiest part.
Right. The mirrors took me some getting used to,
Yes.
you know, because I'm just not, it's a weird feeling looking out of the mirrors from the passenger side. But yeah, every time I get in here though, if I get in the right side, you know what I'm saying?
The correct side?
Yeah, I keep going to the left side of the car.
Right.
But,
Correct.
but if I can get over that, but the turn signal is, it's on the right-hand side of the column. So that is kind of tricky to, but once you drive the car around for, half an hour, I mean, it all
it all
falls into place.
gets kind of second nature, but yeah. The turn signals seem to be the toughest thing to figure out.
Always going for the wipers,
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This thing revs to 9,500 RPM. It just sounds so freaking cool. It's like a little miniature race car. I mean, it is a little miniature race car. I can't wait to get the new struts on it, and so you can really kind of have some fun and toss it around. Right now, it drives down the highway fine. It's weird because the rebound is good. It's the compression that is blown, so like it doesn't bob or anything like that. It just, you hit a bump and there's just nothing to stop the shock from going up. But then it rebounds normally. So anyway, we'll source some, it's gotta be a new adventure sourcing Japanese market parts, But everybody, this car's so much fun. Everywhere we drive it, it just draws a crowd, and we love it so much. And I mean, I think this is the only car on the website that says email for price. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm kind of in love with this little car right now, and I'm not really in a hurry to sell it.
Right.
So I'm kind of afraid to price it, and I don't even honestly really know exactly where to price the car, but yeah, I do have email for price on it. Usually we always post our prices, but it's priced to be determined. Let's put it that way. But I don't know. It may end up getting sold to a guy named Euroasian Bob. He's been known to buy a few cars.
He's got a problem, that's for sure. You can always count on him to.
I may have a problem here, but no, this car is just so much fun. And like I said, it's just a few little issues, but just a great little car. And like I said, 9,500, man. And we're pulling about 1 bar boost on this thing, and so the boost is turned up a little bit over stock, so which really makes it kind of perfect.
Right.
I think that you could, if you could add like bigger injectors, and I mean, here I go.
There he goes.
Bigger, you know, if you get, it needs a little more fuel, because I had it up over 1 bar, and then it kind of started breaking up on the top end because it didn't have enough fuel.
Right.
So I think this little motor is pretty solid. It'd be interesting to know. I mean, I don't really know much about this, but I'm guessing this motor will take some boost, and we're gonna leave it right here at 1 bar. But
Good choice.
I'm tempted.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Oh yeah. Right now, I mean, I think it's probably making somewhere between 80-90 horsepower at the crank. It dynos, stock was like 64 horsepower from the factory, but the Japanese were known to fudge on their on their horsepower, their gentleman's agreement horsepower ratings. But this car was actually on a dyno, and it made 60-something horsepower at the wheels. So you kind of do the math on that. I think it's about 15% loss or whatever. But kind of interesting. We might actually throw it on a dyno ourselves and do our own little dyno run over at BG, just to kind of see. It's always fun. We do a lot of dynos on our fun cars over there, and it's kind of fun for them and fun for us. So we'll see what this little car does. But yeah, stay tuned on this car. It stays at the house if somebody wanted to see it. You know, kind of by appointment only kind of thing.
Right.
So, but anyway, here we are.
Yep, here we are.
Right now, it's basically kind of like my daily driver. So, love this thing. Love you guys. Thanks for riding along and all our crazy car adventures, and we really appreciate it. Look us up, EuroasianAuto.com, Euroasian Auto on Facebook. I'm Euroasian Bob. Like and subscribe if you would, and I love the comments. So comment, let us know what you think of this car, and like I said, be sure to hit that notifications button, because you never know when we might have your next dream car. Have a great day.